class. It's class. It's not something I ever thought was on my radar, to be honest with you. So, to get an opportunity is special, you know.
What kind of captain will you be, or will you seek advice from the other colleagues in the leadership group?
I said to Faz, like, I was like, no bother off pitch. What the hell do I do? Do I go to the corner? Do I, you know? And you know, he had a good few little bits and pieces for me there, and rely on the boys, and just get about your work really, and make the lads feel good for the weekend. So trust the boys, you know.
How are you in team talks?
I don't know really. You'd have to ask the lads for their honest opinion on me. I suppose I'd be a very, not technical, but I'd be, I wouldn't be mad emotional, you know, if that makes sense to you, as a person. So I suppose it's nice to have a little bit of yin and yang at times on it.
Would you captain many teams down the years when you were younger?
Yeah, I think the last team I ever captained was the Irish under-18s team. That's going back by.
different dynamic to
it is. It was a lot of blood.
States.
Yeah, it was a lot of blood and guts and banging tables and stuff back then. But yeah, I've been lucky to be involved in, you know, a lot of good teams with a lot of good captains. So just trying to fit your way in there, and I suppose enjoy it as well as much as anything.
Johnny said last week that you're kind of new in the leadership group, and I don't know how much he was joking, but he said he said you had to be coaxed into coming into it a little bit.
Yeah, I suppose you're going back when Faz took over really, and I suppose there was a time where players were very much do your job, you know, put the blinkers on and just get about your business. Where I think people have changed, and you know, I think rugby's definitely changed in that respect, and in terms of, you know, a more rounded kind of holistic environment, and wanting people's opinions, wanting people to be themselves, want people to want to learn and not be afraid to ask for advice, and be vulnerable a small bit. So I had no clue of it, none of it, and I suppose, you know, it's something that I didn't know what way to approach it at the start. I think as a group, a leadership group, we probably didn't. We're very quiet, you know what I mean? And what does Faz want? Like, what does he want from us? Nearly was questioning, and I suppose as you grow on and the years went on, it came a lot more natural to us, you know.
Who are the people you're kind of going to advise this week when you find out you're going to be captain?
Sorry, say that again?
Who are the people you'd be going to for a bit of advice this week about being a captain?
Look, I didn't know. I generally didn't know if I was going to play or not until today. So all I was thinking about was get on the pitch, get yourself there, you know. But I would have talked to Johnny. Johnny came over and said, "Yeah, okay with everything." I suppose involved in the leadership group, you get a fair idea of the back and or the inner workings of a week, and in terms of our lead into a game with a meeting Thursday, captain's meeting Friday, etc. So obviously Faz has been good, and just relying on the 10 and a few line-out callers and stuff like that, and plan and which way they want to go about their business, you know.
What do you think you've gained from being part of that leadership group?
As much as a person as a player, really. It forces you to think outside your own game. Like, your blinkers are off. You need to be across, you know, how the squad is feeling, our game, how we're messaging them, you know what I mean, younger players coming through, etc., etc. How do we make them feel $1 million from the minute they walk in the door, so they can put their best foot forward, you know. So I suppose it's a little bit of everything, and I suppose you learn a lot about yourself in respect of you're outside your comfort zone a lot, you know what I mean. You're putting yourself in situations where you might be working with a player, or and he mightn't exactly know that you're working with him, and small chats, and it's about having conversations and putting yourself out there, you know.
And Tadhg, what could you learn from Johnny? Obviously you want to be your own captain, but I suppose what traits or what have you seen from him?
It's just his performance, isn't it? Nothing detracts from that, you know. His performance, he always plays well. I think if you can be, you know, that good as a captain and that good around the group, but also perform week in, week out, you'd be doing pretty well.
And you said at the start that you didn't really see yourself in this position as captain. Why do you think that?
Never even thought of it. I would never even put the idea. Do you know when you dream as a young fella, you want to play for Ireland, you want to play for Leinster, you want to play for Lions. I never even dreamed of Captain Ireland.
What did you dream
Spuds, gravy, mother's Sunday roast. Just playing for Ireland. You know what I mean? It was never on the radar, to be honest with you. And look, I know it's for a game. I know you're not captain of your country, as in week in, week out, but it's still class. You know what I mean? It's still a class feeling. It's still, I know from people back home, they're very proud, etc. So it's great.
Do you think that's why you're as successful as you are? Obviously, you have so much talent, but having this attitude of just sort of not having too much pressure on yourself and just going out and play.
No, I don't know if I come across that way, but I do put pressure on myself to play well, you know. And there's a lot in that area, so I'd like to think I have a fair old understanding of through the years and amount of years I played rugby, more so than Anton really, about how my mind works, how my body works, what I need to do in the week to feel confident going into a game. That's probably as much as Anton really.
So is it one of the biggest honours you've ever had in your career?
Is it one of the biggest? Like, it's class. You know, it is class. That's probably definitely up there. I literally came off the training pitch an hour and a half ago and I didn't even think of this. You know what I mean? Because it was the first time I was lacing up all week. So I suppose in time, you look back, it's something no one will ever take away from you. You know what I mean? So it's definitely up there.
Is it something that might take a bit of pressure off yourself for wanting to play so well, and the fact that you've got to manage this group next through, and that you have to focus on that almost as equal?
Yeah, maybe. I suppose it's not a whole lot different. You know, on game day, my job will get very small, really, in terms of being captain. I think captain's works are done during the week, and then it's on the boys out in the pitch. And I suppose from being part of the leaders group and the way Faz wants us to run it, it's not a massive change, to be honest with you, in terms of it all.
But you've enjoyed it. Do you think going forward that you'd like to do more of that? And if there was another opportunity to captain the side again, that was something you'd definitely put your hand up for?
Look, to be honest with you, and brutally honest with you, I'm a prop. You know what I mean? If I'm playing for 50, 60 minutes. I have my head in the ground for most of the game, to be honest with you. I think as a prop, and I think there's a reason that front rows or props especially aren't, you know, captain all that often, is because of that. And I think that's the reality of it, really. It's something you like to do. I haven't even thought of it. I didn't even think it was on my radar, you know. So just want to make the most out of the weekend.
And just one quick final one, Fiji. What sort of different challenge do they represent in comparison to South Africa?
Like, it is different, but it's still a challenge, and especially for the group we have, and it's the opportunity that lies in front of us, and you know how we can be good. You know what I mean? How we can drive it on, and I think they're playing really good rugby. I think they're very well coached. You know, they're very physical, very direct, and obviously they have all the flair in the world out the back that they can score tries for nothing. So I think we're under no illusions the size of the game the weekend, and that's not plamossery, that's truth, you know.